On the sidelines of the G20 Summit held this September, the most historic pact has been signed, and that is the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. As you can see in the picture, the leaders of different nations are sitting together. They have signed one of the biggest deals as quoted by the American president, the deal on connecting India, Middle East, Europe via an economic corridor. So today in detail, we'll be talking about this topic. Before starting on to our topic, I would like to welcome you on iasorigin. You can enroll with us for the prelims cum mains program, where you'll be getting live classes, one-to-one mentorship session, unlimited recorded access, and the personalized strategy plan plus the personalized timetable. What is this economic corridor all about? This economic corridor has been announced at the G20 Summit recently held at the Bharat Mandapam Hall in the Pragati Maidan. So over here, India, along with UAE, Saudi Arabia, European Union, France, Italy and Germany, along with USA, will be involved in this project. Now you can here see that the Middle Eastern countries, as the name suggests, India is there, and the Middle East, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Middle East countries, and the Europe Economic Corridor. So this will be a corridor which will connect these three different parts and then further to United States of America. Definitely making a good transit corridor, be it in terms of economy or be it in terms of trade. It is also said that this transit route holds a strategic significance, and that is, it is considered as an alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative. Yes, the Chinese BRI's alternative. China has created a corridor covering the nations of Middle East and then further to European portion. And similarly, a maritime sea route is also created covering all the East Asian countries, with the Middle East countries following the Suez Canal and then to the Mediterranean Sea to the Europe, both connected by a road connectivity as well as maritime connectivity reaching to Europe, which has provided it to capitalize the market of the other nations. But this China's Belt and Road Initiative is also criticized for its one of the major drawback, that is the debt trap diplomacy. China has constructed various projects and infrastructure criticized for the debt trap diplomacy. China has constructed various infrastructure projects, given huge loans and trapped these low-income countries into the debt trap. As a result, BRI is often criticized unsustainable infrastructure. But here, our economic corridor will definitely follow a sustainable path. Here, the focus is not on capturing the market, but to make the maximum out of the potential for the complementary and supplementary national interest of all the countries involved therein. So let's now see what are the key objectives of the economic corridor. And the key objectives are, it would like to connect the commercial hubs. As I said, it is a trade and economic corridor. It will connect various commercial hubs, support the developmental and export of clean energy. This is focused on clean energy for the transition towards a green economy and fulfilling the targets of the Paris Agreement. Here, it will expand the undersea cables and energy grids and telecom sector. It will cover each of this holistically. And the proposed corridor is into two parts, the Eastern Corridor and the Northern Corridor. Now here you can see, this is India's map. Here in Mumbai, we will follow a sea route. Sea route through the Arabian Ocean will be followed to reach Middle East region. This is a sea route. As you said, undersea cables. So here the undersea cables will be established. Then in Middle East, it will follow a land route going through the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, which will further go on into the Mediterranean Sea and cover the European Union part. And here it will pass through the Rhine River. Rhine River is one of the most important rivers of Europe, and many important cities are located on its bank. So it will be a definitely industrial and commercial hub over there. This economic corridor is definitely important for us to reach the market of Europe. Since we have strained relation with Pakistan and we cannot follow the land route directly, these routes become mandatory for India. And plus it comes one another benefit. Since we are following the sea route over here also and here also, our cost of transportation reduces, because as you all know, the sea transport is the most economical form of transport. So here our economic cost will also be reduced, and it will definitely be an alternative to the land route, which was not possible because of our strained geopolitical relations with Pakistan. And the another feature is the project can have a potential to link countries like Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. Now, as you all know that India follows the Act East policy. So this linkage of economic corridor can be further extended backward to connect countries like Bangladesh, Myanmar, Vietnam, Thailand, and this can definitely counter the Chinese influence or the Chinese regional hegemony. So here we'll get an upper hand. We'll have a better relations with all the countries which will be part of this transit corridor. And again, another benefit is use of land route can bypass the congested Suez Canal. Now here you can see this earlier when this project was not implemented, when this project was not there, we used to follow this sea route. Going through this. Here we used to pass and then follow the Suez Canal area and then again in Mediterranean Sea. But this area, here, Suez Canal area holds account at 10% of the world's traffic. Here, it is the most congested area. You might have heard about a ship Evergreen, which was stuck because of the traffic congestion in the Suez Canal. As a result of this congestion and traffic in the Suez Canal area, the transit charges were also very high. Now, bypassing this thing and coming onto this land route, our transition cost will be reduced as well as transition time will be reduced. Both will be the benefits of it. Seeing to the broader perspective, it is a part of partnership for global infrastructure investment. Now, this partnership for global infrastructure investment, as the name suggests, was the partnership for the worldwide infrastructure projects, and this partnership was brought about by the G7 countries. G7 countries, the developed countries, wanted to give an alternative to China's Belt and Road Initiative, and thereby in G7 countries bought this initiative to counter it. What is special about this initiative? It is a holistic initiative. It covers everything from climate resilience infrastructure to gender equality. Covers holistically and talks about the EGS model, economic, governance and social, covering all aspects. They follow an approach to green economy where they have started a network called the Blue Dot Network. This was brought about by the G7 countries for the implementation of partnership for global infrastructure investment so that they can implement their infrastructure projects following the greener climate friendly methods. And when they mention it's a historic transit corridor, it is because it seems as a revival of the ancient spice route. Back then, when we were not independent, when we were under a British rule, India used to export spices. It was known as a land of spices, where the land route went from China covering the Middle East to Europe. But due to the Ottoman Empire and the Arabs, the intermediary, which served as a blockade for the trade route, and as a result, the maritime route was established, which went from Java Indonesian island to covering India in जगहों से connect हो गए. It went through the seas and then went to the Mediterranean Sea to Europe. So this new economic corridor, which connects India, Middle East and Europe, is seen as the revival of this, because once again in the history, India will be connected to Middle East and Europe by this route, which was just like the past. It is revival of our economic and trade prospects. When we talk about the potential benefits, this would also serve as a settler in the Middle East region. Middle East region is always witnessing constant political threats. There has always been strained relation between the nations. So here, when the Europe and USA market will be connected, this will definitely bring economic prosperity, because always in international relation, geopolitics get overshadowed by geoeconomics. When an economic perspective is involved, the political perspective and the geopolitical issues are subdued. For example, our Doklam case. When such a case happened in the past, it led to the Indochina War. But in the Doklam issue, the war did not happen because of a huge $70 billion trade during that time. Here we can see that geoeconomics getting replaced by the geopolitics. So this will also be the case with the Middle East. When we talk about Europe, European population is turning older and older. They have the lack of youth. And as compared to them, Indian population is the youngest population in the world. India has a lot of youth. So these supplementary and complementary needs would definitely bring a boost to this corridor. We can see that this corridor will definitely have a bigger picture in future, covering everything from economics to trade to political and strategic relations. So that was all about India, Middle East, Europe corridor. I hope you liked the video. Do like and comment, and for more such videos, subscribe to our channel IAS Origin. Thank you.